Hi everybody, I'm Bob Bond. I'm one of the sales floor managers over at Waddell's Garden Center. I happen to be the one who does a lot of raindrip installations and selling this stuff and helping to order it here for the store. It's a real handy thing, and I highly recommend you do it, especially in this time of year. Get one of these little raindrip installation kits. You can start with a kit. It's simple, it's easy, it's elegant. You take a couple of pictures of where you're at, take some measurements. You can have an idea of the plants that you have and the amount of water that they need and what they like. Why in the world would you want to do this? Well, for one thing, it saves a lot of money because you're not wasting on the water. You get less time spent out there going like this and standing in front of it. Now you're in a rush, now you're not giving enough water, and you're hosing, you're spraying, and it's not working good for the plant and it's not working good for your time. You get this stuff, you flick the little switch or you set up a little timer and it does it all for you. You go out, bye honey, I'll see you later today. She'll say, bye, you have a good day at work, and this stuff is all watered while you're gone. I can show you some of the ones that we have already set up, like this one up here. We put a bunch of hanging baskets all around through the atrium, and we knew that nobody would want to water it of their own volition. So since I can't be responsible for it and they're not going to do it, so we set this up automatically. It's on this handy dandy little timer, runs on battery, so you don't have to plug it in. It goes to the power of the hose and the water goes right up the trellis, up to and drips down into the plants and gives each one of these things, because they all have different needs, the right amount of water for them. Some get a lot, some get a little. We set it up accordingly. There's some that are adjustable, like this handy dandy little one. You just stake it in, put your little hose up to this, and you can set this thing, this little dial. You can turn it all the way down. It just kind of oozes, just like a little drip, just a little at a time. You can turn it all the way up, and it sprays out in this glorious sort of fountain of nutrition and water that will help that plant grow to exactly what it needs and everything in between. I have some set up outside too that are working on some trees that we just planted, and we haven't gotten any rain since they come in, so they need as much as they can possibly get out there. So what we did is we took a typical garden hose. It goes to an adapter like this to change the pressure, to an adapter like this to that half-inch line that we were looking at back there, and then we can plug these little things into it. And this goes over to our tree, and it's hooked up to one of these cute little circuit hoses, and the water just kind of oozes out of it. And I got it buried in the mulch so that it stays nice and moist in there. I put a little fertilizer in with it too, so that it doesn't, you don't even notice it. And at the end, I got one of my favorite little sprinkler little gadget things here, and it will come out here and fill up the rest of this void. But this way, we're just feeding the trees with the water, and we're not feeding all these weeds that you see all over the place. So what does a kit start with, you ask? Well, it starts with all this stuff that you see before you. It's got some hose, like so, of various lengths, some little sprayers and little staples to hold it in, and sticks to put it all there, and the adapters to make it go onto your faucet, so you can hook it up to any regular spigot. You just have to remember that water flows, and it wants to go downhill. It doesn't go up very easily, but if you got enough pressure, you can do it. The cool thing about the raindrip stuff is that if you make a hole in the wrong spot, they have these little plugs, you can fix it. And if you make a cut where you didn't want it, they got these little adapters that you can put it back in there so that it doesn't, you can make it longer, you can add on to it, you can cut it and then put an elbow and make it go around a corner. You can pretty much have it do whatever you want it to do. It's water, and you can be the master. When I first started working here, I had never heard of this kind of thing before, and within the first few months, I'd already done an installation simply by working with it. Didn't even look it up on the web. You, though, are already on a computer right now. Hanging pots, hanging baskets that you can't always water. You can just run something down like what we got over there. Comes right down the chain, and everything stays wet and nice and healthy and alive. So I hope maybe this sits well with you and that you've learned something. Just keep in mind it's very easy stuff, cost effective, helps your plants, helps you, helps your time management, and makes things a little more enjoyable when you're outside instead of just being work and kind of a dull sort of process constantly like a chore. All the information you need is available here. You can do your little homework on your own, but bring us all of your information. We'll make sure you get going in the right direction.